going on, guys? It's Canes, aka Vols. Welcome into Around the League, new podcast. Getting introduced tonight. We're going to look to do these once a week, maybe more than that, depending on the reception of this video and content for the video, of course. Let's jump straight into it, though. We're not going to waste any time. First thing, I just kind of want to go over everything around the league, basically. Hence the, name of the show. So every show we're going to go over stuff. First thing tonight is rules. I know everybody's read the rules that are posted in Discord. Denham has been working about a week now on the rules. New rule book. Not really new, just updating the previous rule book. Hadn't been updated in quite some time. So he's got it pretty much finalized. I've got to do a couple things to it, and then I will be posting it into the Discord server, and I need everybody to go through and read the rules. I know some of y'all have been here for 6 years. Some of you have been here 6 days. I need everybody to read the rules, protect yourself, because, last year we did have some people break the rules, and they were punished. We suspended some players on some different teams for a game. It's about the harshest it got. This year, we'll do it again if we have to. So just please read the rules, get familiar with them, and let's just have fun. It's pretty simple. So once I post them, I'll make an announcement in the announcement tab, and y'all can go read them. All right, chat activity. Chat activity has been a big one. Reset on August 1st. There's been people killing it. There's been people slacking. There's been some questions regarding chat activity. The rewards will only be good for once a cycle. So it resets every August 1st is the beginning of the new cycle. Any rewards earned up to August 1st, if they are not used for that cycle, they may be used to carry over. If you earn them, you get them. I ain't going to not give them to you. So if you do earn that level 40 development upgrade, that level 20 development upgrade, you don't get to use it this cycle because you earned it in June. I ain't going to punish you for being active during the downtime in June. It'll carry over. You'll get it. I think that was pretty much the only question I'd seen regarding chat activity. I know some people's been spamming in the chat. Sundance, or Spam Dance, I think is his new name. So shout out to Spam Dance for spamming like crazy. We see you. We know your tricks. Don't ask what mud is again. I'm going to smack you. All right, so development upgrades. There were 6 people that earned them from last cycle. The last season of Madden 19, the deal was if you played every single game, you got a development upgrade. There were 6 people that did it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember those 6. I got the list. I just can't remember it right now. I know it's me, Butch, Bossman, Mex, Debo. That's 5. It was the last one. I can't remember the last one. So whoever you are, last one, somebody in the AFC. I want to say it was MCC. That could be the last in 6-1. Not sure, though. But anyways, you know who you are. DM me. Slide in my DMs right now. Tell me who you want that development upgrade used on, because I'll forget to give it to you. So make sure you get it to us. We'll get that put in. Development upgrades also will not be used to take a superstar into Superstar X Factor mode. It's not going to happen. So don't ask. I'm telling you right now. It's written in the rules. I'm telling you on an announcement, on a video. Not happening, so don't ask. Moving on, franchise players. Franchise players are due August 16th. Get those franchise players in. I think there's about half the league has submitted them. when you're looking at your franchise players and you got to get them in, I want you to start with offensive player, 30 years or younger, 80 overall or higher. Defensive player, same thing, 30 years or younger, 80 overall or higher. Okay, pick those first, those two, and then after you pick those, go to your future face. Your future face is at that point the highest rated overall player that's 26 years of age or younger. Okay, so for instance, I'm just making up a scenario here, not real, just a fake scenario. Packers say Davante Adams is 92 overall and he's 26, and he's the highest overall player. So there's nobody else higher than him. But you pick, I don't know, 24-year-old wide receiver that they have that's 84 overall as your offense, or as your excuse me. You have Davante Adams, and you pick him. Scratch all that. You have Davante Adams. You have him 92 overall, 26 years or younger. You pick him to be an offensive player, then he can't be your future face, even though he's the highest rated. So it would be the next highest rated player would be your future face. Okay, so keep that in mind. If Davante Adams wasn't the offensive player and you picked that 84-year-old wide receiver, or 84 overall wide receiver, God, I hope you ain't picking an 84-year-old wide receiver. You pick an 84 overall wide receiver and you pick him as your offensive player, then Davante Adams has to be your future face. No question about it. So just make sure y'all are paying attention to that. I know this has been confusing. I'm driving right now. So just please work that out. All right, so moving on from there, because I made a mess of franchise players. If you have any questions, DM us. We'll get you answered. And if you mess up the future face and we see that you've messed it up, we'll correct it for you. We'll send you a message and say, hey, you didn't have Davante Adams listed as an offensive player, and you didn't have him listed as a future face, but unfortunately he has to be a future face because he meets the criteria. So we'll fix it for you. We'll DM you why. You have to deal with it. So sorry. All right. Game of the week. We introduced Game of the Week last cycle. Came out beginning of this cycle already. We have every Game of the Week selected for year one. Tried to get every team on there at least once. There are some multiple owners that are playing in it twice. It just is what happens. I can't do anything about it. I wanted to get everybody on there at least once, and that was the goal. It's what we did. So I'm happy with it. Game of the weeks must be broadcasted, commentated. If it's not able to be worked out where it can be commentated, that's fine. But we have to do our best to commentate these games. It's imperative for our league, to commentate these games. I mean, you get something for being in it, or for winning it. You don't get something for being in it, but for winning a commentated game of the week, you get something. You get an attribute point, so it's worth something. So please make sure y'all are, we did this in advance. That way y'all know, hey, week 7, I'm game of the week. Let's let Denham, Vols, somebody know, hey, I can play at this time. That way we can line these games up. I got a baby now. It's a lot harder for me to just be open and be able to commentate these games. I'm going to try my best, but I know sometimes it ain't going to happen. As long as we're doing more than we're not, then I'll be happy. So try your best to get them commentated. Myself or Denham, reach out to us. We'll schedule it, get it going. He'll be handing out Denham Dingers just like he did last cycle. For anybody that thinks Denham Dingers sounds funny, it does, but that's the whole point. We base it around the Gruden Grinder, so we got the Denham Dinger. A dinger is a home run, okay? So that player, it's a home run play in football, all right? So deal with it. That's just what we call it, Denham Dinger. He'll pick a Denham Dinger after every game. It'd be the player of the game from the team that wins. I mean, we could have a player of the game from the team that loses, but it hadn't happened yet. that player will be awarded a tribute point to use. So, and remember, you can only upgrade certain things with the tribute points. You can't upgrade speed, acceleration, stamina, throw power, and strength. I think those are the main 5. You can't do it, so don't ask. Preseason tournament. It started off unofficially yesterday. Supposed to start Friday. Excuse me. Supposed to start Friday. It kicked off yesterday with Mex Pride and who did he play? Mr. Green. Mr. Green, a little backstory on him, had made it to the Final Four of both preseason tournaments MHU's ever had. He got knocked off last night at the hands of Mex. So, good win, Mex. You advance. I think you play the winner of Devo and Jimbo Slice, I believe. So, see what you do next round. It was a good game. I watched it. Man, it was back and forth. The last 2 minutes of that game. It was kind of boring up to that point. I think there was like 4 different scores in the last 2 minutes. It was insane. It was a good game. So good game on both of y'all, and next we'll see you in the second round. The second game was D-Chav and Cowboys and Prevail and his Cardinals. I didn't get to watch too much of it. I kind of checked in and out of it. But I think the final score was Prevail 17, Cowboys 14. He showed some heart. It was more heart than what I thought he had, honestly. But he almost beat Prevail, and it was a good effort by D-Chav. So good game to both of y'all. And Prevail, I think you play Lil Plank, a.k.a. Wood, in the next round. So that'd be an interesting matchup. So preseason tournament starts officially Friday. We'll advance every 48 hours to the second round. Do not play second round games early. Let's wait till advance. I don't want to play the second round games early. I just don't want to do it. So let's wait on that. All right. So next thing and the last thing I've got. This is a big one. I don't know how some of y'all are going to take it. The start of the league is scheduled to start Monday, August 11th. Preseason running through the week, every day, Monday through Thursday, with the league starting on that Friday, which would be the 16th of August. That's less than a week. Well, just barely a week away. Less than a week till we get started preseason. However, we did vote on this. We took a league-wide vote. Some people didn't vote, but the majority of people did. I think it was like a 52% win for the league to start 2 weeks after a launch date instead of waiting for week 1 roster. So it was extremely close. But unfortunately, we as in admins have seen some issues with some leagues that have started already. And we think we're leaning, well, we don't think, we are leaning towards delaying the start of the league until the week 1 roster update. Our job as the league admins is to protect the league. There's not really a point to start the league August 16th and play 5 or 6 weeks and then restart it when the week 1 roster update comes out. There's just no need for that. It's just a waste of time. So we're leaning towards doing that. If there's much backlash, we can have a league discussion about it. But I think for the betterment of the league, this community, the brotherhood we talk about, we need to delay it to week 1 roster update. Unfortunately, there's just been too many problems we've seen. I've seen one that the guy was on offense and his offense wasn't even out on the field. It just showed the defense. He snapped it and it went over his head into the end zone for a safety. Seen some other issues. It's the only one I can think of right off the top of my head, but I know there have been multiple issues we've seen. I know one was preseason. They'd go into training and it would just back them out. And they couldn't get any training done in the preseason. That's a pretty big issue there. So it's just what we're thinking about doing. If we do delay it, it will be delayed until the week one roster update, which will suck because that's another 2 weeks we have to wait around and play mutt and bullshit around in the lounge. But I think in the long run it'll be better for the league. So look forward to seeing what y'all think, and we'll go from there. Because we do want to take everybody's opinions into consideration, but we ultimately want to do what's best for the league, and right now we think that might be the best route to take. So other than that, there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about that I forgot to mention in the development upgrade section. X Factors. We will be playing with X Factors. No, you cannot upgrade development upgrades, superstars to superstar X Factor. But I do want to say this: X Factors, there are issues in franchise mode when you change. Say you change Aaron Donald from defensive tackle to right end, or right end to defensive tackle. His abilities, his superstar abilities, and his X Factor will change. And once you say you have him on defensive tackle, you have those abilities. You switch him to right end, he's getting brand new abilities. And you're like, oh shit, I don't want these abilities. I want the defensive tackle abilities that he had. You switch him back to defensive tackle, he ain't getting them back. He's going to have a completely new set of abilities then too. So I would recommend not moving your X Factors. Do not change their positions. If you do, that's going to happen. Their abilities will change, and you won't get them back to exactly how they were when the league started. So change at your own risk. If it's something you feel like you want to do it. If it's not, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't risk it. So make sure you're aware of that, and make sure you think well, long, and hard, and you really don't want to make that mistake before switching them. So, but other than that, I appreciate everybody tuning in to the very first episode of Around the League featuring Canes, aka Vols. I'm glad to do this show, this weekly podcast. Gives me a little bit more to do. I feel like I'm, worth something to the league. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll be back next Wednesday. We could be back sooner. If not, we'll see you on Wednesday, and